ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another... Ooh, let's try this again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Dish Y'all to Confusion Thursday night hangout.
There you go. I knew you could speak the words out of your mouth.
Yes, of course. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus.
It is good to see you, good sir.
Yes, it is good to be seen. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you during the show. And at any point during the show, if you have any topics, questions, opinions, thoughts, please drop them in the chat, and we will try to add them to the show. If we do run out of time, we'll add it to the very next show. Now, that being said, let's talk about the very next show real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a humongous event that is occurring next week. And so there will not be a show next week. There might be some streaming, but there will be no official show next week because Zealeus will be partaking in this humongous convention
known as DragonCon. Yep, I'll be there all weekend doing the DragonConning and, you know, doing the stuff at the conventions.
Anything in
maybe I'll even actually
anything really, you know, screaming to you that you have to do at DragonCon?
Well, so I don't know if you remember, there's a band we saw at PAX East many years ago who was playing at DragonCon. Powder Glove.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're playing Friday night /
Saturday morning
at midnight. So don't know if I'm going to go because it's past my bedtime, but we shall see.
Oh, yes. And of course, there's always humongous numbers of famous people that are. Sorry, I'm pouring my Mountain Dew while I talk.
No, they have it's a pretty good group of famous people this year. Really, some years it kind of varies, but yeah, it's a pretty good group, I would say, if you're into the famous people. I've never been one to go get like, you know, my autograph and photographs with the famous people and that stuff, but obviously people do go there for that because that is a pretty big part of, for some people, the convention experience. But that is the beauty, is there's a little bit of everything for everyone, depending on what your fandomness of choices.
Yeah. I mean, there and speaking from experience of going to DragonCon in the past, if you have a fandom, there's a good chance that there is a clump of people that share your fandom, no matter how bizarre out there some people might think that fandom is.
Yes, and of course there's so many panels about so many different things that there may be a panel for just about everyone.
Yes. Now, of course, speaking of panels, one of our really good friends of the show is going to be a moderator, at least for one panel, if not a bunch of panels. Bobby Blackwolf is, huge fan. We basically, I met him through, I think, Georgia Game Developer Association, and he's kind of, he's got his groove on now.
I know. I think, hey, Bobby, you know me? Do you just want to sneak me in the back door so I have to wait in this long-ass line? Because he is the moderator for...
Catherine Tate.
Yeah, thank you. So that's going to be a pretty good line, I would imagine, for the panels. Yes. Of course, panel lines are always fun because officially, it's a 1 hour, you can't form the line more than 1 hour before a panel starts. But when you have like all freaking three of the hobbits there, it's going to start like 6 hours in advance. That's just the way it is. So that's always the game you got to play with some of the. I never really cared too much about going to the big popular panels, so I'm like whatever. But for people who do, that is always the tricky part. Of are you in the correct line? Is this the real line or is this the pre-line that's not even a real line? And yeah, but that's part of, because the other tricky part is it's out, like all the lines are outside, like there's no interior lines, so there's a good chance you're also going to be sitting in the nice Atlanta summer heat for 3 hours waiting to get in, wrapping around a hotel.
Yay, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
Anyways, so, but yes, next week is DragonCon, so there will not be a official Thursday night hangout next Thursday. because Zealeus will be partaking in, because it's Thursday. Is it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Is it 5 days?
It actually, yes, yeah, yep.
So it's a big, long, humongous convention.
Indeed, and it gets a little bit busier every year.
Now the question, Zealeus, as a veteran DragonCon goer, when are you thinking about hitting the vendor area?
So I'm not sure yet, because one of my cosplays, I'm going actually as the pistol guy from the Olympics. UTEP. I should actually know his name for a week from now. And they're doing a group Photoshop on Friday morning. My plan was to go to the vendor hall actually Friday morning, because basically once you get past like opening on Friday, it's just a long line to get into the vendor hall until like Sunday afternoon, basically. The other option that's not a bad time to go is actually during the parade on Saturday morning.
Yes, the parade.
But even then, people will figure that out. So even to get in there, like before the parade starts, there's already like a pretty decent line started, because people have started to realize that's a good time to go. So, so probably Friday sometime.
You'll figure it out, Zealeus. I have all the faith in the world in you.
Who knows? Maybe Thursday evening.
Maybe.
I mean, that's all spend Thursday.
So okay. Speaking of other things that Zealeus really enjoys, let's talk about Diablo 4.
Diablo 4!
So from my understanding, I of course, I'm looking from the outside, looking in, but apparently there is a certain build, that is causing Diablo 4 servers to really go bananas, and that apparently is the Sorcerer's build. That I don't know what's happening, but apparently it's too flashy or something, and it's causing the servers to go, oh no!
Like it's actually, there's so much stuff on the screen that it's crashing.
So apparently it says, thanks to a new legendary power in Season 5, sorcerers can now zap monsters for loads of damage with their lightning spear skill, but you need the unique Fracture Winterglass amulet to summon a bunch of them at once. Every time you cast a frozen orb with the amulet on, it can spawn a magical pet or conjuration that casts its own frozen orbs, which reduce lightning spears' normally long cooldown. With the right gear, an army of these little guys throwing snowballs at enemies lets you spam tons of lightning spears in seconds.
Nice. Yeah, so you're creating so many assets on the screen. It actually causes it. That was actually, so I played in the past a lot of Last Epoch, and that's actually a major issue with some of the builds in that game, where like you can cause so many assets on the screen from your build that you basically freeze the game. And that is issue with some of these ARPGs that are big and flashy with so many, usually they're builds that like kind of like you're talking about with this one, where like one thing spawns another and spawns another, and it kind of creates this death loop of spawning of stuff, and it just overloads the server. So it's not an atypical thing to have. It also happens when you have, like for instance, like MMOs are usually pretty straightforward builds. Like you don't have a whole lot of creativity in terms of what you can build. Like they're very structured because you have to have the timing for the bosses and all this stuff. But ARPGs, typically most of them, people figure out the very creative builds to basically nuke everything. And a lot of times it's because you have to spawn a lot of stuff to do the damages.
Now, of course, when a new build for any type of game, online game comes out, that looks flashy and gets awesome, it becomes very popular, and then everybody wants to do it. And to think, just to imagine the heavier populated servers having a shit ton of those sorcerers doing the same thing at the same time. Apparently, it crashed at least games. I don't know about servers, but Actually, no. It says
Nice.
that servers lagged and crashed in some cases, so they were able to bring the servers down.
You should get like a award or like a title
Hell
for
yeah.
that. I think there's something.
I would be totally down for like Crasher of Server.
Yes.
Yes.
I am the destroyer of servers. Bow before my might of ones and zeros.
Speaking of bowing before your might, or actually lack thereof, let's talk about the fact that Borderlands the movie continues to bomb, and they are now transitioning to streaming. Already? Mm-hmm.
Already? Well, I wonder if that's like a record.
It's not. It's close. It's not.
Well, a record for what was supposed to be a summer blockbuster. We'll put it that way.
Fastest movie from theater to streaming. Let's see. What movie would no? Fast X was only lasted 21 days.
That was a decent enough movie. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't. I feel like there was one that.
I think in terms of like a movie not supposed to be going to streaming so quickly, that's kind of the catch. Like that was not the expectation with a movie like Borderlands. Although pretty much anyone who paid attention kind of saw it coming because it was such a shit show in every form or fashion possible.
Let's see here. Apparently, the second Shazam movie went to streaming pretty quick.
Oh, that was a fun movie. I like Shazam.
Ant-Man movies transitioned pretty quick. No. Actually, it looks like a lot of DC movies made within the first month or so. A lot of DC movies recently, since 2020, have basically dipped their toe in the theater water and then sprinted to streaming. Yeah.
Don't worry, Robert Downey Jr. is going to fix all those issues.
Oh, there's one. Wes Anderson's Asteroid City was which had a shit ton of big name actors, though it did earn like a bunch of money. That's the thing, though. Like that one, it only was in theaters for less than a month, and it got 16.7 million globally. Now, Borderlands...
I don't know. There.
I don't know. Now, the funny thing is, because Borderlands was bombing so bad, Gearbox ran out and said, hey, look at this. Look at this new trailer. Borderlands 4 is coming. Please don't shit on the Borderlands name.
Now, the question is, was Borderlands 4 already in production, or is this like all of a sudden like, oh, shit, this is so bad? We need to do something about it. I think
that it probably was already, the wheels were already moving, but I think that they didn't want to announce it just yet. I think they probably had plans to announce it probably, I would say in October. I don't know why I want to say October, but I want to say October.
Yeah, that's kind of my guess too. That like, because games just don't magically appear for like no reason. So they probably been playing this for a while, and it definitely, I think, accelerated. I have the hiccups. This is really annoying. I think it definitely accelerated their announcement plans.
Yes. But yeah, so it's.
But hey, another Borderlands game. I'm always excited about that.
I will be ready for a Borderlands 4 because I'll know that it will be silly, stupid, over the top violence. That's got a mature rating on it, like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, right?
It is absolutely part of the fun. And it's terrible that we didn't get to have that fun. Anywho, speaking of maybe some people having a little bit too much fun, Valve has come out and said that there are certain features on a couple of brand new keyboards that are being banned for CounterStrike 2. And these are the Razer and Wooting's new keyboard features, Snap Tap and Snappy Tappy.
Those kind of sound like hack programs in the first place.
So, let's see here. Valve is banning CounterStrike 2. Sorry, they're banning players from using keyboard features to automate perfect counter strafes. Razer was the first keyboard maker to add a simultaneous opposing cardinal direction (SOCD). Which is featured in their Huntsman V3 Pro keyboards. And then Wooting has just released one. It's called Using Snap Tap, as Razer calls it, or Wooting's Snappy Tappy, will now get you kicked from CounterStrike 2 games.
Kind of reminds me back in the day. Remember the old Nintendo joysticks?
Yes.
And they have the turbo button.
Yes.
What that kind of reminds me of. I mean, it's just kind of the fine line between like having an optimal input system versus when it's across the line to cheating. Like you can have keyboards with macros that can do automated things for you. So there is kind of that fine line. Although I don't see those as often anymore. They seem to have kind of gotten a little bit out of favor. But still, it's definitely a thing where you can have automated systems in your keyboards.
Yeah, so basically Valve came out and said recently some hardware features have blurred the line between manual input and automation. So we've decided to draw a clear line on what is and isn't acceptable in Counter-Strike. We are no longer going to allow automation via scripting or hardware that circumvent these core skills, and moving forward, and initially exclusive on Valve official servers, players suspected of automating multiple player actions from a single game input may be kicked from their match. Which makes sense.
I wonder how effective they'll actually be at detecting this. Because it goes back to the zimming, like of emulating your keyboard and mouse where you're supposed to play a controller for the consoles, and they have a very hard time already detecting that.
I wonder if it's a certain, I don't know.
Of course, I'm guessing those keyboards were also not.
Oh no! Actually, here let's find out. So it is a Razer Huntsman V3 Pro keyboard. Razer Huntsman V3 Pro keyboard. How much do you think it is?
$200.
$250.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a fancy keyboard. But okay, so in this case, would you say that this is kind of paying to win? Because now you have an advantage over people who don't have that keyboard?
I mean, a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah. They got the Pro Mini.
Yeah, a little bit.
A compact keyboard.
Like, I have a hard time getting worked up about this one.
Well, first of all, I don't play Counter-Strike, so I'm not the target audience. And second of all, I don't think I'll ever pay that much for a keyboard.
Mine was $200 new, but I got it on sale.
I'm saying I won't pay full price. If I will never pay like, let's say there's a $250 keyboard, but there's like Amazon Prime days or something, so it gets knocked down to like $128 or something. Then maybe I'll think about it. But I ain't paying $250. I mean, that's like a freaking console. That's a Nintendo Switch.
That is true.
No.
They ain't cheap.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I am not that high of a ranking of a player that I'm going to see the difference.
Maybe you should see a difference. Maybe that's what you've been missing all your life.
I doubt that. I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm missing. Speaking of missing, I have fallen back into the deep, dark black hole that is No Man's Sky.
You started that last week. You're still into the throes.
Accidentally, I think now put close to 20 hours into it again. No, there's nothing wrong with that. But I mean, I've got other games I probably should be playing, but it's one of those games where I kind of like lock in, and the next thing I know, I'm like, oh shit, it's 4 hours later.
That means that the game is doing something right. I mean,
there is some frustration when I don't have like those, you know, when I'm trying to craft stuff and I can't find those specific ingredients or whatever. But at the same time, I could kind of just do these little bite-sized things and make my my home base look prettier.
Who needs to clean your own in real life home base when you can make it pretty in the digital world?
I've become a master of naming my bases. I have the tutorial base.
How many bases?
And the beach base, which is on the beach.
Ooh, fancy. Now, is No Man's Sky, is it purely single player?
It's got multiplayer. You can join, your friends can join in on the fun. And there's this anomaly that you can call up that basically it's not all the players, but it's a chunk of players that are actually playing that you could team up and do an instanced quest or something if you really wanted to.
I'm assuming you do all the single player.
I have been asked a couple times to join in on those quests, but I don't spend all that much time in the anomaly, except for like story stuff, or if I'm desperate to try to. They have these like random quests, and you could do them all by yourself. I mean, well, most of them you can. There's some that, unless you are an absolute sadist, you need to group up. But some of them it's like kill what do they call them? Vicious plants. And so there's basically just like these plants that will attack you if you get too close to them. And so you just got to kill 8 of them and then come back. You're like, you could form a party to do this. I'm like, but why? I kill them on the daily.
So that's why I like how First Ascendant, so that's the newer looter shooter, how they do that. Whereas if you, when you join a map, you can choose to either do a single player or jump into like a multiplayer instance. If you go, let's just say if you start the quest for, let's just say, kill 8 plants, if there's nobody else doing it, you just start it and other people can jump in. Or if other people started it, you either just start it or get teleported to where they are. But there's no like asking. It just kind of happens. But it works well because it's super seamless. Like you don't have to do like this adding people to your party and then like, oh, I'm done with the quest. Wait, I'm on a controller. So how do I like leave the group? I don't actually know. There's all that weird awkwardness. It's just you literally jump in and jump out. It's super seamless. I like that. And kind of going the other way, which is interesting. So Diablo 4, you mentioned earlier, has an expansion coming out. And apparently what's getting part of the high level content, or I guess end-game content for the expansion, is basically going to require you to play multiplayer. And I don't mean just be online. I mean like actually party up. And not like I was talking about in First Ascendant. I'm talking like you'll have to like actually form a party.
Sit in a lobby and try to gain a bunch of people and then pop in?
Yeah, no, they're creating a party finder for it. And I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because like I don't mind like the overworld stuff. Like we were doing like the big overworld, they're called hell tides. So you just kill shit with hell tides and other people are there and like you just do it for EXP and loot. Like easy peasy, like you don't have to group up or anything. Same thing for like world bosses, you just kind of do it. But it's very different from that versus instances where like you have to go join them with other people. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that. And my main reason is what I found that happens, and this is basically any non-MMO PvE game, what ends up happening is people have super insane builds. And so you go to these instances and you're going to be with somebody potentially who's going to like obliterate everything in 0.5 seconds and you just won. Like on one hand, I'm like, okay, it's great, we won. But on the other hand, I'm actually playing the game to like play the game. And like, if I know I'm going to group with, let's just say 3 people at my similar skill and, you know, damage level, then cool. Like I have no problem with that. But there's been so many times in those type of games where you're just grouped up with people who annihilate everything and you literally don't have a chance to do anything. And to me, that gets boring. So that's my worry with a system like that. Where like you have to do it with other. It's not like, oh, they have a dungeon finder to scale it or anything like that. It's like, no, they're like saying like you have to do this with other people. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna wait to see what happens with that. Because I imagine most people playing Diablo 4 for like that type of content, they're playing it single player.
Yeah. Speaking of expansions, Dead Cells has released its final update ever.
How long have they
this
been
would
doing
be
updates?
Update number, I want to say 35. Yep. So they are officially done.
It is kind of interesting that like most games when they come out, like they're expected to have like many updates for the life of, you know, however long it's going to last. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's just it is the way it is, but it's definitely this weird expectation. That was, I know we're showing our age because it's not how it was when we were growing up.
At least for Dead Cells is 7 years old, and they have released 35 updates, and I mean these are not small updates. The title of this update is "The End is Near." And to be honest with you, I'll still go back and play some Dead Cells from time to time because it's, you know, it's a rogue I guess Metroidvania-esque game, and you could put together a run pretty quick and then drop it and feel accomplished. This update does introduce 40 new head skins, 18 new legendary affixes, extra accessibility options, and more. Let's see, it was launched in early access to Steam in May of 2017.
And for 44,548 user reviews, 96% of them are positive. I would say that's a pretty good.
It's a solid game. I mean, I think I own it on both the Switch and the PC because it plays perfect on either. It's one of the couple of games that I have on both.
Totally random, but you know what I'd still love to have to come to the Switch is a Hoyo Ghost game, like Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to play it on myself, though.
I've tried it on the PC.
I've tried those type of games, and it's just not.
It was okay.
Like, to me, it'd be the perfect Switch game. Because it's just kind of pick up, do, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's a gacha dailies kind of game. But it'd be perfect for that type of just pick up and quick games.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I look at those type of games. that's where to me, that's why I love it on the Switch. And of course, then you have your joysticks with the Joy-Cons or Pro controller that you can use in either situation.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, that'd be nice. But I want to say they announced it like 4 years ago that was going to happen.
Nintendo have never really been best friends. It's the one thing that Nintendo does not handle well.
And that's the one thing all the Hoyoverse games are about is online gameplay.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick to thank the individuals who help Alter Confusion be the Alter Confusion that you love and adore. These, of course, are the friends of the show. So without further ado, let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. And they highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts that challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next shout out we got to give is to someone that if you're in the greater Atlanta area and you've got those aches and pains from life or maybe too long of a gaming session, you need to check out this guy. That person, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone could be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we're going to give is to the music maestro himself. That, of course, is CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original backer of Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus, but while not in meetings and many times during. He is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know at this point you're dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show for Alter Confusion? Well, I have the information for you right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives on the love support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, werewolves, mummies, swamp creatures, vampires, supporters, and more become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 tiers. We have the $1 tier, that's $1 a month or $12 a year. What you get at that is early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as the ability to participate in patron-only posts. And if you're getting a little extra frisky, you can go to the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/alteredconfusion. Now, of course, the next shout out we got to give is very important and close to our hearts. And that, of course, is ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion is proud to say that we have been fundraising for Extra Life for 13 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Altered Confusion. And yet another one of my family members unfortunately had to partake in the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and I'm very happy that it is there. So I will always support this organization for as long as I live and can game, and both, because I'm pretty sure I'll be gaming until I go into the grave, because that's just. I have two
and you'll be
children.
having kids until you go into the grave.
No, there's not.
There's always room for more.
Anyways, okay, so back on target. Let's talk about. Oh my gosh, I had another story and I accidentally closed it. Way to go, Charlie. No.
Did you lose your brain again?
Dang it. I totally. Oh my gosh, I can't figure out how to. I've lost this stupid. I don't know what my computer's supposed to do. What are all these words on there? What is this computer? What is it doing to me? I don't. Okay, so apparently YouTube is doing some weird stuff. YouTube is making controversial changes to the play buttons. YouTube is resizing play buttons, upsetting content creators who feel their hard work isn't being recognized. I don't know what the hell that means.
Does the play button no longer actually play a video? I'm very confused.
So I'm wondering if, okay, so the play buttons are actually the awards they give out to YouTubers. There we go. Now the brain's starting to work. Basically, if your channel reaches a minimum of 100,000 subscribers, you get the silver play button with rising tiers for subsequent awards. Gold requires 1 million subscribers, while Diamond requires 10 million. While Gold and Silver have the same general design, Gold awards have been significantly larger than their Silver counterparts, signifying the big leap between 100,000 subscribers and 1 million. However, the awards are now changed. Okay, so it's the actual size of the awards that are handed out. There we go. My goodness gracious.
I need to figure it out eventually.
It's basically like you could equate it to, you know, those bands when they get their record goes platinum and they get this big ass platinum record. It's basically that, but instead of a record, it's a play button. Which, by the way, funny side story. I know I'm on a total tangent here, but so once upon a time, the Beastie Boys received one of their like gold records. And they decided to like bust that thing out of the frame and try to play it. And it turns out that it plays music, but it's not theirs.
Sounds about
right. I don't know what it is, but it wasn't Beastie Boy music.
It sounds like something they would do. And by the way, I didn't know there's a red diamond level 2 for 100 million subscribers. So like
maybe
Taylor Swift.
That's crazy.
I have no idea.
Speaking of YouTube, did you know that there was a YouTuber who streamed for over 200 hours straight with no sleep?
I saw something about that. I'm like, this guy's nuts, and we shouldn't.
I'm just going to say that somebody
people doing stupid
out
shit
there decided to stream for 200 hours straight without sleep. That person, either one, is probably so high on caffeine and sugar that probably in the 200th hour they were violently shaken and probably didn't know they were still streaming. Because I'll be totally honest with you, when I try to do the 24-hour gameathon for Extra Life, I start to lose a little bit of my sanity by when I get into like the last couple hours.
And after a couple of days, people legitimately get like psychosis and actually lose their grip on reality. People like,
I think
the
the
humans
longest
just aren't meant to go that long without sleep.
Here's a question for you, Zealeus. What's the longest gaming session you've done? Continuous gaming session. Yeah, of course, but like you didn't go to sleep. You were logged into this game.
Oh, geez. Actually, it probably would have been one of my OG Overwatch marathons. Because what would happen is I would like probably start playing Overwatch around 6 or 7 and then go to like 4 in the morning. Yeah, because like if I start in the morning playing, let's just say 10 a.m., I'm not going to game the entire day. Like I might come back to it later that day, but I'm not going to play in the session. It's a weird psychological thing, I guess. But like once you get past like 9 or 10, I'm going to play the same game at that point. I'm going to continue to play. And at that point, it's usually alcohol induced. So yeah, I think for me, the longest actual session would have been one of those Overwatch games when you get like with the right group
for
of people.
I know for a fact what my longest gaming session is, and no, it's not one. It's it's longer than the 24-hour gameathon. Okay, I played for 39 hours straight on the Guild Wars closed beta weekend.
Yes, Guild Wars. Yes, I can understand that.
When I finally went to sleep, I slept for, I think, at least 12, maybe 14 hours straight, without even moving. Like when I finally closed my eyes, I did not move.
Now here's a better question. What is the longest you've marathoned a television show?
What's the longest I've marathoned a television show? In one sitting?
Yeah.
I watched. See, the thing is, okay, I'll tell you this right now. I have marathoned a bunch of old animes, like 26 episodes straight, no problem. That's a cake. That was a cakewalk. I don't know if I can still do that, but that was a cakewalk back in the day. I would say probably. I think I watched 2 seasons of Sanctuary in one sitting. Yeah.
And those are like the full 43-minute episodes too.
Okay, so the caveat here, I was absolutely miserable, and the only thing that was helping me get through, because this is when I had COVID. So I was absolutely miserable. I wasn't allowed to talk, interact with anybody. I was locked away in my basement, so I literally just watched 2 seasons straight of Sanctuary. And I actually just recently watched the first 3 seasons again of it. Yeah. But yeah, that's probably the longest straight. Though, that being said, hold on. Let me think about this. I
really got to think about this. I really challenging the brain.
Sanctuary is probably going to be it, but I have a funny feeling that I've done some marathons where I've knocked out at least an entire series or season, not series, season of like some sci-fi TV show. I mean, hell, I can easily binge watch the entire series/season of Firefly. But that's only 13 episodes, so that's not that big of an accomplishment, unfortunately.
I mean, you can come to DragonCon and hang out with Nathan Fillion.
We'll be doing other things during that time with the family.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Nah.
Fair enough.
Speaking of conventions, Zealeus, what's the longest you've actually stayed at a convention?
Ooh. Because normally when we did it, we would go up like Friday and come back Sunday. Yeah. So honestly, it'd probably be DragonCon. Go up Thursday. Yeah. So I would actually have been last year. I went up Thursday morning and then came back Monday at like 6 a.m. There's a band I wanted to see. The True Shadows. They start at like 3 a.m. on Monday morning. And so I ended up seeing them and then just checked out of the hotel room and got an Uber back from the hotel at like 6 a.m. Worked out really well. So yeah, that'd probably be my longest.
Yeah. Ooh.
How long were we at PAX for? Was that shorter? I mean, that was also 15 years ago, so it probably wasn't as long.
Thursday, and there was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But we flew back on that.
Most likely.
Did we fly back on that Sunday? I don't remember him either.
Oh God, I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
That's so many years ago, sir.
But yeah.
I'm not that smart.
Man, I'm trying to think about all the conventions I've been to. Because I've been to PAX Prime, I've been to PAX East, I've been to BlizzCon, Con Carolina, I've done DragonCon, done MomoCon, of course, AndoCon, SiegeCon. I should just break out the box that has all my my whatchamacallits, my badges, yeah.
All your badges.
But I don't know. I've got a pretty impressive number of badges. God. Let me look at my. Nope, I don't have anything else on my sheet. Sorry, guys. I was running around and apparently did not have as many things as I thought I did.
Apparently you left it. Maybe you sweated
I could have. I mean, I did.
Stories out of your brain.
Like I was telling Zealeus before this, I was. This is actually my 5th basketball game of this week. I played one on Sunday, one on Monday, 2 on Wednesday, and 1 tonight. And then I have 1 on this coming Sunday. Yes. It's starting to wear on me.
Sir.
Starting to wear on me.
Or maybe it'll just get you into wearing shape.
I think my body is about done. My body's like, seriously, go do something else.
I've had enough.
Please. Go back and play more No Man's Sky. Go mine some more copper and make some chromatic metal so you can make some circuit boards so that you can pimp out your multi-tool. That's the sad thing about my No Man's Sky. I don't know, maybe I just got lucky the first time I played, but I feel like I'm still stuck with the first fucking ship. Like I've picked up some new ships, but there's so much repair required on it that I just don't have all the I still don't have like access to all the components to like clean out all the spots. Because technically you can use your ship or your multi-tool with damaged pieces in it. You just have to have, enough of the good stuff, the correct stuff, so you can go from place to place. But some of the components are just insane to try to get. And it's always the case of you're playing early on, you're playing the game, and all of the items that you're like, well, there's nothing I need to make with this right now, or for sale at all the fucking like merchants. And then when you get far enough into the game where you start needing that, you can't find a merchant that's selling that shit anymore. You're like, son of a bitch. Yeah.
That
Should've
sounds
bought it
like
when
real
I had
life,
the
sir.
chance. Even though I didn't know I needed it.
You always need that one
It's
random
some
piece of wood that you
super
never actually need.
semiconductor that you don't need until you're 20 hours in, but you can buy them in the first 45 minutes of the game. Zealeus, you playing any MMOs right now? You still playing Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah. Oh yeah, still playing 14 right now. It's my addiction, man. I just can't stay away from the fantasy worlds. No, I'm not actually even rating this round. I'm like to do all that in-game content requires so much time that then like leaves time for no other games or like anything else. So I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna be casual this round. I know. So yeah, nope. I mean, I still log in and play, but I'm not dedicating the numerous amounts of hours since I made it past like the first main stuff, basically.
Yeah, I still don't see myself playing an MMO. I mean, technically, I could. Oh my god!
Maybe someday when the new Lord of the Rings MMO comes out. Who knows? Maybe it's as good as the TV show, right?
Have you?
Yeah, it's
a
very beautiful show. The problem is that you have like we're supposed to be like huge surprises, and you can see it going a mile away. It's like, who is this character?
It's obvious and you're
guy. Like, it's so and so. And they're like, who is this person? They don't know who they are. I'm like, really? Are we like trying to actually play this game? Like, we all know who it is. It's not going to be a surprise when you give the big reveal. They do the big reveal, it's supposed to be a surprise. And it's like, yeah. So it's beautiful. That's as much as I will say. It's okay. It's about all I got. It's okay.
And
I did finally see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
I can't say anything else, obviously, spoilers, but very good. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed everything about it.
Oh god, yeah.
I will definitely say it's the best Deadpool in my opinion. Yeah, it was very good. We'll see what happens.
Of enjoying something,
but I definitely enjoyed it.
This is I stumbled upon a new anime on Hulu. It's called Dark Gathering. It is like legit dark, and the crazy thing is, it's on AMC. But it's about this kid who can see like spirits, but he's trying to like remove himself from the world of the occult. But he meets this little girl who's like hunting the spirits to capture them. And it is dark, but it's good. But there's some characters in there. You're going, if only the main character knew about this, like the real intent of this person, they would probably run the other way. But oh well. So
yeah.
But yeah, I've been watching. So I've been watching Dark Gathering, and then an anime called Gintama, which is just absolute dumb, stupid stuff. But I end up watching it because it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
I did rewatch the Warcraft movie on Netflix. I mean, it's a solid 3.5 to 4 stars. it's a movie. I mean, it was a decent movie, borderline good. That's how I would put it. Like good, borderline great, but not great. Sorry, just
and of course
it was
when
good.
I've been bored as of late,
it.
I've just been watching random Scooby-Doo episodes.
Nice. You could go as me as Fred to.
No, I couldn't pull off Fred.
DragonCon. You fit in more than me.
I'm literally, I am smack dab into Scooby. I mean, not Scooby, Shaggy. Though I don't have the bell-bottom pants. But other than that,
this is my first run at this. I'm making another one. See it? Yeah. So I'm basically 3D printing a book for a trap book.
There you go.
So inside of it, I can carry around that I have like my drink and food.
Perfect.
So it's like basically my carrying case. So that's my first run at creating the cover.
Yes, I probably.
Thank you. I think you gave me the idea for it. Yeah, it's like, you're like, carry this, which is funny because when you look online, like there's no data about the trap book.
It's in the newer Scooby Doo's. It's in the
I found what I needed.
Scooby Doo, and then the Mystery Incorporated on Netflix. That's the one where he is like goo bananas for traps. So if anyone gives you any shit, you say, this is the new school Fred. Yeah. Anyways.
The new school Scooby, I'll remember.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that we have unfortunately reached the end of the show for today. So, remember that next week is DragonCon, so we will not be doing an official show, but I'll probably be doing some streaming. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids,
Zealeus just glitched right at the end. I'm going to assume that he says, keep on gaming in the free world, and I'm going to go aim into that brother. And here come the credits.